This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, the HMNZS Otago sails in for several events and the opportunity to draw in some new recruits. An electric vehicle roadshow motors into the Octagon, but are people buying into the idea of sustainable transport? And we meet a man who's decided it's a good idea to run from the Southern Alps to Oamaru. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. The HMNZS Otago is in Dunedin for an important visit, having sailed up the harbour this morning. The offshore patrol vessel is in the city ahead of Anzac Day commemorations, as well as several other Navy-specific events. And the visit is also a chance for potential new recruits to see where they could soon be working.
Back in its home waters, the HMNZS Otago has been cruising into Otago Harbour for a 5-day stop in Dunedin. Royal New Zealand Navy staff on board are getting set for a busy and significant long weekend in the city.
The ship Otago is down here for a couple of reasons. The first one is for the Anzac Day commemorations on Monday, and also for the whole weekend as part of the RNZN's 75th anniversary celebrations.
Part of the anniversary festivities include a public open day this weekend for residents to tour the ship. A charter parade is also being planned through the city, and Sorensen hopes it'll help entice some new recruits.
So really it's an historical thing that they used to do, to march through the cities, and it was actually as a part of a recruitment drive, so hopefully have that effect on Saturday as well. This morning a group of potential recruits got an exciting ride out of the harbour to explore the ship before it docked. Naval officers say it's all about getting a first-hand glimpse at what a seaborne career can entail. That's something Sorensen knows a lot about, having only been in his current role since August. It's been good. It's a great learning experience after rising through the ranks on various ships, and then finally getting a chance to command is a real honour and something that's been quite exciting so far. The Protector class vessel has travelled south from Auckland after operational exercises with several other ships in the Hauraki Gulf. It'll head back to the naval base at Devonport next week before launching into fisheries patrols in the South Pacific. Ruby McAndrew, 39 Dunedin News. A report into last June's flooding shows most mud tanks in South Dunedin weren't properly maintained. The Dunedin City Council report highlights serious inadequacies within the organisation and its maintenance contractor Fulton Hogan. It also states heavy rainfall on the 3rd of June last year was the highest in a 24-hour period in almost a century. It's believed that even if all mud tanks were up to standard, flooding would still have damaged the city. But the council is planning to improve its maintenance and management of infrastructure. It's also set on engaging further with the community about associated issues. Electric vehicles were causing a buzz in the Octagon this morning. More than a dozen were on display as part of a national tour promoting their use. But advocates concede widespread uptake is a long-term goal.
Charged and ready to go. This $220,000 Tesla is in Dunedin as part of a national electric vehicle tour from Cape Reinga to Bluff.
So we're just basically trying to get people to see the electric vehicles, find out what they're all about.
This is the second annual electric vehicle tour run by the Better New Zealand Trust. The organisation's aiming to promote electric vehicle use among other sustainable practices. But trustees know widespread uptake will take time, with costs relatively high and supply low.
There's a gap in the price. The volumes in the world sort of aren't high enough for the manufacturers yet, so they do tend to come in a little bit more expensive. We've got a leaf, second-hand leaves in New Zealand are going for about 25, so that is an affordable option but has a more limited range.
Local electric car owners and advocates have been getting on board, meeting the touring vehicles on their way into the city. The Trust is pushing for companies and organisations to buy corporate fleets of EVs to drive up supply.
And once you get a few fleets in the market in second hand, then that makes availability there for more people.
That's already starting to happen, with Air New Zealand the latest big firm to purchase a fleet. More public charging stations are also popping up, including in Dunedin, making long trips easier.
So we used everything from motel sockets to the fast charging network, which is rapidly developing in New Zealand.
Tour drivers are heading south through Balclutha and Invercargill before finishing in Bluff tomorrow. Rosie Mannins, 39, Dunedin News.
A new group has formed in protest of the meals being served to Southern District Health Board patients. The SDHB's 15-year contract with Compass Group is at the heart of contention. The newly formed Real Meals Coalition is calling on the board to end the contract and serve locally made food. A protest is being planned for outside Dunedin Hospital at midday on the 29th of April. The coalition includes people from Grey Power, as well as representatives of various unions and political parties. A spokesperson says patients and families are constantly complaining about Compass Group's food. The board says it's working with the company to ensure meals are adequate. A Dunedin runner is taking on his biggest challenge yet as he prepares to run from the Southern Alps to Oamaru. He's planning to conquer a cycle track that's only ever been run once before in an effort which took 8 days, and the local man is hoping to achieve it in under 2.
Warming up for his biggest feat yet, this local runner is off to the Alps next week as he plans to traverse more than 300 kilometres non-stop.
I come up with this crazy idea, me and my mate did before Christmas, and we had a wee chat about it, and since then it starts in Mount Cook and runs to Oamaru. It's the cycle track, so I thought it would be a good idea to attempt to run it.
Sutton will be the first person to ever run the 301 kilometre track without stopping, and will have assistance from a crew the whole way. He says his biggest challenge will be the last 100 kilometres of the race. He's in the midst of training before attempting the run next weekend.
I've been doing a few 100-milers recently and just trying to keep fit and healthy once I finish them and complete them. So just running every second day at the moment, and anywhere between an hour and 8 hours at a time.
Sutton's no stranger to long-distance running, having competed in 11 100-mile races before. He's also twice completed the 217-kilometre Badwater Marathon in Death Valley in sweltering 40-degree temperatures. He says people question him for wanting to run such long distances, but they're personal goals he wants to achieve.
A lot of people ask me that, why, you can drive it, 300 Ks, 301 Ks, it's a lot easier, but I like a challenge, and just putting myself out there and doing crazy things like this just ticks my boxes.
Sutton leaves Mount Cook next Friday morning and hopes to arrive in Oamaru in the early hours of Sunday. Annabelle Dick, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, the city prepares for another big turnout to Anzac Day services, and DCC staff concentrate on winning a management challenge.
Far too much stock. Alex Campbell Menswear, South Dunedin. Don't let me bore you, but it's rock bottom. Jeans, $40. Casual pants from only $20. Shorts from $30. Hundreds of them. Hundreds and hundreds of shirts at rock bottom prices. From $20. And knitwear from $50. That's rock bottom.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's rock bottom.
It's on again. The Star Regent 24-hour book sale starts noon 10th of June. Don't miss out!
Oui, tu vas voir Marjolaine et le maquillage. D'accord, ok. professional, reliable and approachable service where your dream kitchen design can become an affordable reality. Contact the team at Kitchens for Less. Call 455 9973 or visit us online.
Ecro Tech Limited have been supplying beekeeping equipment and honey products in New Zealand for over 100 years. A specialist manufacturer of hiveware and plastic products for the beekeeping industry. They are the leading supplier of beekeeping equipment nationwide. For all your beekeeping needs, visit ecrotech.co.nz or call 0800 11 7766.
Mobility scooters Otago's, mobility scooters new and used, electric manual wheelchairs, strollers and walkers, free home demonstration and delivery. Call Tony on 03 455 2875 or visit our showroom, 211 King Edward Street, opposite Westpac.
Garage Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garage quality service. Garage Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Taiko Valley Road. Visit www.garador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
Welcome back. The tourism boom is continuing with a new March record for the number of international visitors. Just under 350,000 foreigners entered the country last month. That's an 18% increase on last year. Visitor arrivals for the 12 months to March also hit a record at 3.26 million. The latest data shows more Australian, Chinese and American holidaymakers are touring New Zealand. The annual number of international departures by New Zealanders has also hit a new high at 2.43 million. And on that note, let's take a look at today's markets. The NZX 50 has closed today up 5 points. It's now at 6,906. The Nikkei is up 462 points. And to the exchange rates, the Kiwi dollar is down against all the currencies we follow. The city is preparing for another year of heavily attended Anzac Day services. This year marks a couple of major military milestones, and Dunedin RSA President Lox Callis joins us to talk about it. Good evening.
Good evening.
What can we expect at Anzac Day services this year?
Well, it'll be the same format as what we have had in the past. The dawn service commences at 6:30, but of course there's those preliminary activities that go beforehand, marching on of the colours, mounting the cattle flag party, and the march on by veterans.
It's quite an emotional experience, having attended a couple myself. Who's the keynote speaker at this year's dawn service?
This year it's Commodore John Campbell from Auckland. He's the Director of Strategic Relationships and he's based in Auckland, and he's coming down to do the talk in the morning.
How many people are you expecting to attend?
Well, that's a $64 question. It's weather dependent. We had a large crowd last year, of course, based on the 1915 commemorations. So this year we're hoping to perhaps see the same amount.
Why do you think there are more people attending services at the moment? Is it because of the anniversaries, or has the tide turned a little bit?
Well, it's a combination of things, really. Yes, it is the anniversaries, but there's also a lot of young people taking part in the services now, and of course they have that thirst for knowledge because their grandfathers and great-grandfathers never talked about it, and of course they want to know more about it now. And there's also a feeling of pride that they want to take part in a service that and commemorate the actions of what their grandfathers and great-grandfathers did.
What is special about this year for the RSA?
Well, it's the 100th anniversary of the founding of the RSA, 1916. It was formed July. Also, it's the anniversary of the first commemorative service of Anzac Day, commencing in 1916. So it's 100 years ago that happened, and also we're looking forward to our celebrations and activities later on in the year in August.
Yes. Is there going to be anything special happening on Anzac Day for the RSA's 100th as well?
Not at this stage. We've got an activity planned later on in the year for that, based in line with what the National Office wants to do as well, so there'll be more to come for that later in the year.
So how much activity and planning has gone into this year's event?
Oh, quite a bit. We have a template to work to, but it's just a matter of pulling it all together, getting the people in the right place at the right time and making sure that they turn up in the day.
How many war vets are left in Dunedin?
We're not exactly sure. We have about 250 members of the RSA, but some of those, of course, will be wives or partners. Based on previous records, there would be about 300, but not all of them belong to the RSA, so we don't have an exact amount or know exactly how many are here, because post the Vietnam era, a lot of people have moved into the area throughout Otago, and they haven't bothered to join the RSA, so we don't have those records.
Do you think that the meaning or the significance of Anzac Day has changed over the years?
Yes, it has. Again, I think people want to sort of remember what's gone on beforehand. And again, it's the younger people that really are carrying that mantle forward, and it's important for them to do that. Today with technology, we can see what's happening in the battlefront in their own home. But I don't think those children had the opportunity again to speak, to say to Pop or Dad, what did actually happen there. And so I think it's important that they turn up and just pause to reflect on the actions of what they did, so that we have a democracy today.
Now, a lot of people might not quite realise that the RSA is not just for people who've returned from the two major world wars. There are people that have attended other war type situations as well.
Oh yes, you know, the cohort left between World War II up to the Vietnam era is only 1,100 people, but there's 20,000 post then, and we have to remember there's been over 40 deployments overseas since 1974. So there's a lot of men and women who have served in those theatres that are entitled to become members of the RSA, and also their partners and immediate family.
What do you think the highlight will be for you this Anzac Day?
Well, hopefully good weather, and it all goes on cue.
Have you put in a request for good weather?
I've spoken to Padre. I hope the CEO has got the answer for him.
Absolutely. Well, we'll all be rooting for you as well. Dunedin RSA President Lox Callis, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, a group of DCC staff win a national challenge, and the Pacific Island community focuses on raising funds for Fijians still affected by a devastating cyclone.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
It works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special, 0800 502 402.
Mobility Scooters Otago. Mobility Scooters, new and used, electric manual wheelchairs, strollers and walkers. Free home demonstration and delivery. Call Tony on 03 455 2875 or visit our showroom, 211 Canudwood Street, opposite Westpac.
Oui, tu vas voir Marjolaine et
New Zealand Beeswax Limited are the quintessential beeswax, woodware and beekeeping suppliers. From the amateur beekeeper to the commercial operator, New Zealand Beeswax Limited has the quantity to meet your needs. For great prices, great service New Zealand-wide, contact New Zealand Beeswax Limited on 03 693 9189 or visit www.beeswax.co.nz. Finding that your grass seed just won't grow? Ready Lawn has the perfect solution for all those lawn woes. Call Ready Lawn today on 486 1819.
Far too much stock, Alex Campbell Menswear, South Dunedin. Don't let me bore you, but it's rock bottom. Jeans, $40. Casual pants from only 20. Shorts from 30. Hundreds of them. Hundreds and hundreds of shirts at rock bottom prices. From $20. And knitwear from $50. That's rock bottom.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's rock bottom.
Tune in on Thursday for Motorsport Night on Dunedin Television.
Welcome back. A team from the Dunedin City Council has won a National Management Challenge. Members are now preparing to compete in the Australasian finals against winning teams from each Australian state, and they're upskilling in the process.
Working on another win. This Dunedin City Council team is preparing to compete in the Australasian finals of a local government challenge. They've just beaten 15 other teams from New Zealand councils to take the honour of representing the country abroad.
It's not insignificant. We haven't put a team in for a number of years, and there are some councils who put teams in every year with an aim to winning. We decided that we wanted to use it as a way of developing talent.
Some of the less senior council staff are involved, each bringing their different skills to the table while learning off others. It's strengthening the organisation as a whole for the community's benefit.
And you build ongoing relationships with those people that really do help break down silos and mean that you actually can perform better in your roles and deliver far better customer service and far better outcomes for ratepayers.
The national leg of the challenge is run by SOLGM, the New Zealand Society of Local Government Managers. A record 16 teams entered this year, up from just 9 last year. The challenge was held over 3 days last month, and the Australian finals are happening in Melbourne at the end of June.
We've had our feedback from how we did in New Zealand, and there were some things we did really well, and so we'll build on those. And there were some areas where we did okay, but we've got some improvements that we can make, so we've identified what they are.
Several top competitors from other New Zealand teams are now helping the DCC members prepare to take on the Aussies. They're hoping another trophy makes its way south. Rosie Mannins, 39, Dunedin News.
The local Pacific Island community is showing solidarity with Fiji in the wake of Cyclone Winston. Extensive damage caused by the severe storm earlier this year has prompted a relief concert in the city, and organisers are beyond pleased with the support they're receiving for the cause.
It's more than 2 months after disaster struck Fiji, but the impact of February's Cyclone Winston is still very much evident on the ground. That's prompted staff at the University of Otago Pacific Island Centre to stage a relief concert.
We want to raise some money to help the Fijian community back in Fiji, as we know that they were devastated by Cyclone Winston earlier this year, where people lost their lives and families still trying to rebuild. So as a community in Dunedin, we thought we'll get together and raise some funds.
Local fundraising efforts have the Dunedin City Council's support, with organisers given a grant to cover their use of the town hall. Backing has also come from the Highlanders, with 2 rugby jerseys donated by the team to be raffled off. Kirifi Alai says the local assistance is particularly heartening for residents with ties to Fiji.
Because at the university we have students from ethnic groups who are themselves displaced as well, and also worrying about families back home. So this is like coming together. We're here to support you, and if we raise a lot of money, that'll be the bonus. But it's being together with family.
It's not just Fijians rallying for the cause, with several representatives from other local Pacific Island communities joining in. Kirifi Alai says it's all about uniting to help one another in times of need.
We're a very close-knit community, you know, like I work for the Pacific Island Centre at the University of Otago, so it's like the hub for the community, and it's not the first we've done. We've had others for other communities that have been devastated as well by natural disasters in the past.
They didn't set a fundraising target, but organisers are pleased with the more than $6,000 raised. All donations have been given to the New Zealand Red Cross to help with the work its staff are doing on the ground in Fiji. Ruby McAndrew, 39 Dunedin News.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. The HMNZS Otago and its crew is in the city for several naval events and Anzac Day services being held over the long weekend. A fleet of electric vehicles has been causing a buzz in the Octagon as part of a national tour promoting sustainable practice. And ultra-marathon runner Glenn Sutton is preparing for his biggest challenge yet, running non-stop from the Southern Alps to Oamaru. And it's time now for local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
Today's city view is taken of St Kilda Beach from the Lawyer's Head lookout. Not a bad looking day after a bit of a cloudy start. At around the city at 3 o'clock today, 18 degrees for the central city, 17 at the Gardens, 21 for the Tyree. Well, to the situation, the anticyclone is slowly moving away now with a milder nor'west flow developing. A cold front will move over the south on Saturday. It's followed by colder sou'westers. Well, to the forecast for the main towns on the lower South Island for tomorrow. Nor'westers with cloud increasing for Invercargill, Gore and Alexandra. Rain developing in Tiana with nor'westers and a high of 16 degrees. Nor'westers with cloud increasing for Queenstown, Wanaka and Twizel. Just a bit of high cloud about for Oamaru, not increasing there with nor'westers and a high of 20. And Dunedin tonight remaining fine with a low of 9. Sunny at first tomorrow, but high cloud will increase during the day. And nor'westers will freshen from evening. 20 degrees is what we can look forward to. It's a different story on Saturday with showers and fresh cool sou'westers and a high of 14, although it will be good for the garden. And finally to the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information. Low tide tomorrow morning is at 27 past 10. High tide follows at 4 past 4. And fishing conditions are good once again, particularly around 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. And if the focus of your weekend is when you're going to do the washing like my focus is, at this stage it's looking like Monday, but I will update you again on that one tomorrow night. Well, that is local news for Thursday, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Good evening.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.